Hello, welcome to Muscle Invasion. In this video, I'm gonna talk about the human trunk. It's the basic anatomy. I'm not gonna deep dive very deep in this video, but I will give you the basic knowledge to start understand an anatomy. It's very important if you wanna work properly and if you wanna have a nice filter to filter the good advices from your coaches or the bad advices from your coaches. In this video, I'm gonna teach you the basic of human morphology and biomechanics. It's not very deep in biomechanics, but when you understand anatomy and where the muscle attach and where it insert, you will start understanding the biomechanics, okay? But the nervous system is very important in your muscles, because it's way important. I will explain that in future videos, but I hope you enjoy this video. Just subscribe and put a like and follow me, okay? Because you're gonna learn in this channel, okay? I promise you one thing, you will learn, okay? Maybe it's boring videos and I'm gonna make like 3-4 boring videos to starting up, but I know when it's boring, it means because it's very, very important. I swear, it's very important. Without anatomy, you're gonna do anything, okay? And you're not gonna understand the future videos I'm gonna make, okay? So those videos are very important, okay? So we're gonna start with this muscle here. I'm not only gonna talk about the muscles, the superficial muscles that you see in a bodybuilding show or something. So this is the platysma. As you can see, it inserted in your mandible here, the jaw. When it turns like this is the platysma. That's the platysma, okay? That's the origin, the attachment, and this is the insertion of it, okay? The white you see in the end of every muscle, it's called tendon, okay? I'm gonna hide this one. There is some deep muscles here, the sternocleidomastoid. You don't need to know this. This is the pectoralis major. We're gonna hide the deltoid. You have the clavicular head, which is inserted here in your humerus, and there is another, the mid chest here and the contracostal head here. It's called the lower chest too. You call it the lower chest here. Fibers, look at them. They have the same tendon here, okay? So those two fiber, the mid chest and the lower chest, has the same tendon. Look, you see, they have the same tendon. Come here, okay? That way you will see it better, okay? They have the same tendon, but the clavicular head has its own tendon. You see, it's not the same tendon, okay? And keep in mind, this is not very precise, this 3D model, because like I said, we have different morphologies. Some people, they have this tendon low here, some people, they have it high here, and that impact the way you feel your muscle. I will talk about this very specifically later when I start dissecting muscle groups and talking about exercising and that stuff and the difference between our morphologies, okay? And here, what you see in here is the superficial fibers, but there is another layer of fibers. We call them the deep fibers, and they don't attach here in the sternum, here in this bone. They don't attach in the sternum here, but they attach in the here on the ribs. They attach here. We call them the deep fibers, and when you do this movement, you only contract in the deep fibers, but to contract your superficial fiber that they attach on the sternum, you have to contract to the end like this. I will talk about this later and you will understand it, okay? So when somebody tell you, no, you don't need to contract this, you stop here, you tell them, bro, you ain't working your superficial fibers. I see this in anatomy, I know what I see, and I understand biomechanics, and what you're saying is crap, okay? So don't listen to nobody, but listen to the basics. It's like 1 + 1 = 2. You know, you don't need to listen to nobody to tell you it's 2 or 3 or 4. This 1 plus 2, this, when this are 2. That's it. So that's why it's very important to understand anatomy and to have the basic knowledge. You don't need to memorize all this, but have this pictorial memory. That's how I learned anatomy. Just make pictures in your head, okay? Then I'm gonna talk about the midsection. So here we have the external oblique, okay? Look at it. You see this white thing here? It's fascia. It's not tendon. It's, or you can call it like a muscle to muscle tendon. It's not technically true because muscle to bone, it's a tendon. A tissue connecting bone to bone is a ligament, and a tissue connecting muscle to muscle is fascia, and fascia wrap your muscle and it's inside your muscle fibers, and fascia is everywhere. Okay, I'm not gonna diverge, I have to stay focused. So this is your external oblique. We're gonna hide it. You're gonna have your internal oblique under it. This is your internal oblique, and under it you're gonna have this rectus abdominis, which is your 6-pack or 4-pack or whatever. If you wanna see a very good abs, go and check Ahmed Haider Abzilla. It's a very known bodybuilder. I'm gonna make videos talking about the best muscles in every bodybuilder, and this bodybuilder, they have like like Marco Savolainen, the best biceps I ever seen. Have like insane separation. That's why I told you it's important to understand anatomy. That way you're gonna have the eyes, and when you see a muscle, oh look, this the separation and that stuff. Oh, that's the long head, short head. Oh, it's big, and you know, without anatomy you can't have a good eye. Okay, so this is your rectus abdominis, and it insert on your pubis symphysis here. You see it? This pubis symphysis. It's called pubis symphysis. Pubis symphysis. Okay, I'm gonna hide this, and you're gonna have your transversus abdominis. It's a muscle. It wrap all your. It goes from your vertebrae here to your here. It wrap. You know, when it wrap your midsection. When you do vacuum, you work on this muscle. When doing plank, you work on this muscle, and there is a specific way to do plank, so you can activate this muscle very good. I will show that later when I start dissecting, like I said, exercise and movement and how to perform and that stuff. But keep in mind, those the midsection muscles, the external oblique, the interior oblique, the transversus, and the rectus abdominis, no one of these muscle have a tendon attaching in your femur here, which is your leg. So they don't contribute on your leg. So when you work in your abs or anything, and you move on your legs like this, you know, it doesn't make any sense, because they don't work your abs. Your abs are only they only have the they only do this movement, you know. They bend your spine, you know, like this. When you move your legs, your abs, anything, abs, obliques, anything in your midsection, it doesn't work your legs. So I'm gonna take this muscle here, and you will see those are the major muscle that they move your femur, which is your leg. There is here, it's the psoas major. This is the psoas major. There is the psoas minor. It's this muscle. And this is the iliacus iliopsoas, and this is this where they insert those muscles. Look, this muscle here, the what you call the psoas minor, it insert here. You see, it doesn't move your leg. Okay, it doesn't play a role in inserting your leg. So these two muscles, psoas major and iliacus. That's what, and there is with them the rectus femoris. You can see it here, but when I talk about the legs, you will see that muscle. The rectus femoris is head of your quads head, one of your quads head, the rectus femoris, and it play a huge role on moving your leg this way, you know, to move your leg up. Okay. Because and that's a very specific muscle, because it jump on two joints, which is the femur joints and the knee joints. With the patella, you know, it jump from it. It's a very specific muscle. It's very specific, like your biceps long head tendon is very specific tendon with very specific molecular attributes. Okay, so, and now we're gonna go to the back muscles in your back. Okay, you're gonna have the trapezius. If you hide it, you're gonna see the rhomboid major and the rhomboid minor. That's all the coaches here in United States only know those muscles when they see a back. Oh, rhomboid, you don't see rhomboids. Bro, the rhomboids are a deep muscle. You can't see them, and they don't hypertrophy a lot. And you can see like a small portion of it, and nobody care about it to not a bodybuilder back, okay? So you take the trapezius, you can see these are deep muscles that you can see them. And you have the supraspinatus here. It's I will talk about this muscle and its pathologies here and why it's important to protect it and don't overuse movements that go over your shoulder. You don't do a lot of work over your shoulder because of this tendon here, because it starts scraping on your acromion here, especially if you have like a narrow acromion, because it varies from people to person. Some people have it wide acromion space, some people have it narrow, and you're gonna mess up your tendon here. You're gonna have inflammation and pain, and sometimes it tear and that stuff. And a lot of sport athletes like baseball, volleyball and that stuff, they have their tendon here screwed, and they have a lot of problem and pathologies with it because of this specific tendon place, because it's like pinch between two bones with each, it's here, this your joints and the acromion. And when you move your hand like this, you shorten the space between this, you shorten the space here, and this tendon starts scraping on this bone, and it start like weaken and having micro tears in it, and it weaken, and sometimes it snap and getting inflammation and that stuff, and that's a problem. This is okay. We're gonna hide the supraspinatus, and we're gonna talk about the infraspinatus. This muscle is the most important muscle in your upper body, because it plays a huge role on stabilizing your shoulder joints only by its mass. You don't need to work it with heavy weights, because even if it's strong, it doesn't. You need it to be hypertrophy big, so that way it stabilizes your shoulder. And you can work it by doing this movement, the auto stopping movement. And when you contract and you pushing your cage out, that way you contract it more, okay? And you can feel it, and that way you will hypertrophy it. And when you hide it, we're gonna see that we have like this teres minor here, and this is the teres major, and this is the latissimus dorsi, and all of them they insert on your take the pectoralis, okay, and they insert on your femur here, femur. They insert in your humerus here. So any movement when you use your arm like this, those muscles work because they are attached on your humerus, okay? So for example, when you move your arms, your trapezius aren't working because it doesn't insert on your humerus, okay? It inserts on your scapula, okay? So and those the teres minor, it doesn't play a huge role on, because he's surrounded by very three strong muscles. They play a huge role on doing these movements, the pulling movements of your arm, of your humerus. Are there? There is the teres major, which is a very dominant muscle because it's so strong, and you have like um, an advantage a mechanical advantage too. So, and keep in mind, some people they have it low here in insertion, and some people have it high here, and some people have the attachment of their latissimus dorsi here. Some are here, some are high here. You know, that's what I said that I'm gonna talk about that when I started explaining morphology. But keep in mind, like I said, teres major is a big muscle and it's strong and it takes most of the job done when you doing pull-ups and that stuff, and horizontal or vertical. And the latissimus dorsi, it play a huge role too, but 90% of people they have this muscle very strong like me, and it's hard to contract properly your latissimus dorsi. There is specific ways to do it and to change the motor neurons and that stuff, and to try to make it instead of being a weak point to make it the strong point, and to change the behavior of how your system of how your uh, of how your nervous system contracting those muscles. So this is, like I said, teres major, latissimus dorsi, and a muscle you don't see here, which is the long head of the triceps. Those three muscles work together when you're doing vertical pull-ups or horizontal pull-up, okay? Pulls, movements, to move your arm, your humerus back in to your back. Those three predominant muscle that they contribute a lot on those movements. Some people they're gonna say, oh, but your back deltoids, and no, your back deltoids is very weak. It's a it depends because it's not very innervated. So when you're doing this movement, your nervous system will send it will send the impulsions to the motor of your teres major, triceps, and latissimus dorsi, but your rear back, it doesn't contribute a lot when you're doing compound exercise. I will explain the difference between compound exercise and an isolation, and the definition, the real definition. Okay. So that's important to understand anatomy, because without it you can't understand properly the definitions, because you need to understand where is the joints and that stuff. Okay, so that's it. That's the human trunk. Okay, we take those muscles. You're gonna have the serratus muscle, this muscle here. Okay, the serratus. You have the pectoralis major here. Well, minor, sorry, the pectoralis minor. You have, we take this scapula. You have the, like I said, the subscapularis under it, and those are the erectus muscle, spinae muscle. It's a bunch of muscle here. This muscle, the spinalis thoracis, this muscle longus. They are deep muscle, but the only muscle you can properly see if you want like a power lifter with a huge gutier and specific training to this area here. It's hard to see them on bodybuilders, but you can see them. So this is a superficial muscle. It's called the iliocostalis lumborum, your lumbar muscle. Okay, it's very when you look to somebody's back, you can see it because it's not deep muscle, it's a superficial muscle, and over it you're gonna have this serratus posterior inferior muscle. So I'm gonna take this one. Okay, so this is your lumbar muscle, how it this is the attachment. It attach on your in your costal bone here, and it insert in your lower bone here, which is the sacrum. So this is your coccyx, and okay, that's the hip bone. Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna talk about the definitions and explain to you the joint, the different type of joints, how joints is made, what is the labrum in your joints, what is the fascia, what is the cartilage and that stuff. And like I said, the most important thing to keep in mind that your muscle is the least thing you have to worry about, but you have to worry about the system surrounding your muscle. Your muscle is very strong. It's hard to injure your muscle, but the tissues surrounding it are weak, and that's where 99 of the injuries occur, because your muscle get enough anabolism and blood and like nutrients, and it recover very fast, not like those other tissues. They don't recuperate fast, and so okay, I'm done on this video. Next video I'm gonna talk about arms and legs, and that's it. See you in the next part, and bye.